Hello there, very good evening. Welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. Many political developments here in Sri Lanka as we prepare for a presidential election. Also in India, a new Prime Minister takes oaths and a new government is appointed while Sri Lanka looks at what will happen at the presidential election. We've got all these details lined up for you on Primetime News tonight. But first, a look at your top stories.
Narendra Modi sworn in as Indian Prime Minister. Many state leaders including President Vikramasinghe attends the ceremony. Political stage heats up. Group including retired senior DIG Ravi Seneviratne joins the NPP. Opposition leader in the north says will implement the 13th Amendment under an SJB government. UNP opens more political offices. UNP General Secretary makes revelation about victorious candidate while inaugurating the political office in Kasbava. This is an election year. State Minister of Finance says supplementary estimate will be presented for 2025. Locomotive drivers' strike results in 70 train travels being cancelled. Locomotive operators informed to report to work immediately.
Starting off with some big news from our neighbours in India, Narendra Modi was sworn in as India's Prime Minister for the third consecutive term this evening. Modi became the first person after former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to be elected as Prime Minister for a third consecutive term.
The Rashtrapati Bhavan, the official residence of the President of India, hosted the grand swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, attended by around 8,000 guests, including heads of state.
मैं
नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा।
Members of his council and ministers also took their oath along with Modi. 30 of them are cabinet ministers, 5 independent charge and 36 ministers of state.
मैं शिवराज सिंह चौहान ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं।
I, Nirmala Sitaraman, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India.
I,
Subramaniam Jaishankar, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India.
Security has been tightened in Delhi while the police have declared the national capital a no-fly zone. Narendra Modi was elected the Prime Minister of India for the third time, garnering 54.2% of the votes in the recently held Lok Sabha election. India, the world's largest democracy, held its general election from the 19th of April to the 1st of June in 7 phases to elect all 543 members of the Lok Sabha. The National Democratic Alliance, led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, secured 293 seats. The National Congress secured 202 seats. Following his victory on Thursday, Narendra Modi informed the President that the BJP-led coalition will form the government. The swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister is in keeping with the highest priority accorded by India to its Neighbourhood First policy and Sagar vision. President of Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe, President of the Maldives, Dr. Mohammad Muizzu, Vice President of the Seychelles, Ahmad Afif, Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Mauritius, Prime Minister of Nepal, and the Prime Minister of Bhutan were all in attendance. Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, arrived in India for the grand ceremony last afternoon. President Ranil Wickremesinghe received a warm welcome at the Indira Gandhi Airport in New Delhi this afternoon. The Bangladeshi Prime Minister and Sri Lankan President were among the first heads of state to formally confirm their attendance at the grand ceremony. Earlier today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes at the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial, Rajghat. He also paid floral tributes at the National War Memorial ahead of his swearing-in ceremony. In addition to participating in the swearing-in ceremony, the leaders are slated to attend a banquet hosted by President Draupadi Murmu at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Narendra Damodar Das Modi, born on the 17th of September 1950, is the third child of Damodar Das, Mulchand Modi and Hiraban Modi. Modi comes from a rather humble background with no political influence. Modi's father sold tea at a tea stall near Vadnagar railway station. In his early years, he too lent a hand to his father at the tea stall. In 1987, Narendra Modi entered mainstream politics and joined the Bharatiya Janata Party as an organizing secretary. In 1991, he became the National Secretary of the BJP. In 2001, former Prime Minister of India, Bihari Vajpayee, named Modi Chief Minister of Gujarat. Years later, in 2013, Modi was chosen as the BJP leader and campaigned the 2014 general election. Since his victory, he served as the Prime Minister of India from 2014 to 2019. He was sworn in as the Prime Minister of India for a second term on the 30th of May 2019. Today, he was sworn in as the Prime Minister of India for a third consecutive term. Narendra Modi will go down in history as one of the most charismatic leaders who won the hearts of millions of Indians. What's more is that he managed to do all of this and dominate Indian politics without any political family lineage.
The Election Commission will be empowered to proclaim the date for the presidential election in 38 days.
Drawing your attention to the preparations right here in Sri Lanka for the upcoming presidential election, the National Conference of the Retired Police Collective of the National People's Power was held in Maragama today. The event was held under the auspices of leader of the NPP, Anurakumara Disanayaka.
මෙම ඇද වැටීමෙන් අපි නැවත නැගිටින්න ඕනේ.
We have to rise up again from where we have fallen to. Who will we stand up with? If we consider the Malimava or the National People's Power, their common goals for the country are more prominent than their personal goals. They are following a scientific process to solve the issues in the country. Towers and airports were constructed based on the whims and fancies of a few, but in the end, they were all useless. They were only constructed for the purpose of lining their pockets. They provided employment to their family members and funded them with corruption and fraud. That has to stop. That is why, although some of us have over 40 years of service in the police force and at a time were fighting each other on either side, we have come together. Our executive committee member Ananda Vijaypala at every meeting stresses on this fact. This is a group that does what they say. These past few days, we were being lied to. They asked us to come and meet them, that they will construct houses for us and give us various other things. Do not be fooled. Join hands with us and we will move forward together.
ඔක්කොම බොරු. රැවටෙන්න එපා. අපි සමග එක් වෙලා අපි ඉදිරියට යමු.
විවිධ පාර්ශ්ව වලින් අපිට බලපෑම් එල්ල වුණා.
Various parties tried to influence us. Not only me, some of our other officers too experienced this. Our coordinating officer for Monoragala was threatened and asked if he was the one who was organizing this and taking people to Colombo. It came to a point where he had to go and lodge a complaint at the Monoragala police. After the police complaint was filed, they came and apologized. Our coordinating officer was threatened by a national level intelligence service. We formed the Retired Police Officers Collective to build a law-abiding society. The police, the Attorney General's Department and the judiciary. If these three institutions function independently, it will not be too hard to build a law-abiding society in Sri Lanka. A group of youth continued to protest at Galface. This group was attacked by a state-sponsored group and chased away from there. The police were just standing by while all of this happened. They did not use the power that had been given to them. What happened to these officers? They are still holding their office. Is this what should happen in a law-abiding society? On the 8th of January 2015, a presidential election was over and we were on our way back home. On the dawn of that day, the highest-ranking state officials met at Temple Trees and temporarily suspended the results of the election being announced. These state officials decided to announce a state of emergency and impose emergency regulations. IGP NK Ilangakon was there and he clearly said that emergency law cannot be imposed right now. There is no threat to the peace in the country that warrants the imposition of a state of emergency. That process stopped right there. We all know about the Easter Sunday attack. We believe that there was a conspiracy behind this attack. That attack was not investigated. SSP Shania Besekara, who is on stage here today, was the officer who was in charge of that investigation. He was not only investigating the Easter Sunday attack, but many other sensitive investigations, including the investigation into the murder of Lasantha Vikramatunga, the kidnapping of Egnaligoda, the attack on Keith Noya, the kidnapping and murder of 11 youth, and many other investigations were personally supervised by him. Since he was honest and independent, they sought revenge against him.
එහි අවංකභාවයෙන් ස්වාධීනව කටයුතු කළ නිසාම ඔහු පලිගැනීමට ලක් වුණා.
I know the influence that was exerted on Ravi Seneviratne, not only from the government but also from the opposition. They had urged him not to get on this stage today. At times they were friendly, at times they were pleading with him, and at other times they had threatened him as well. This was done by both the government and the opposition. Why are they threatening him? Ravi Seneviratne is a senior DIG who was in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department of our country. Shania Besekara is the former director of the Criminal Investigations Department. These people know the character of those from the government and the opposition well. That is the reason for the threats and the pleadings. But facing all of those threats courageously, he got onto the stage here today and spoke to you about what has happened to the law and order in this country. He has not only pointed out the problems but has also indicated how it can be fixed actively. We want a country that respects law and order. I will give you an assurance None of us personally or as a movement have a need to protect any corrupt person. We have no underworld figures to protect, no drug dealers to protect. We have no rapists to protect. We have no financial swindlers to protect. We have no murderers to protect. If someone is fulfilling his duty to protect the citizens of a country, and if he is being victimized because of that, what kind of a country are we living in? I will give you an assurance, Shani, that you will be given justice under our government. We will give justice to him and officers like him under our government. Therefore, if the powers vested with the police are insufficient, they will be given more powers, and we will create an environment in this country where the law and order can be protected and the police can perform their duties.
11 retired DIGs, including retired Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police Ravi Senaviratna, pledged their support to the National People's Power today. The National Conference of Retired Police Collective of the National People's Power was attended by former Director of the Criminal Investigations Department, Superintendent of Police Shani Abesekara, and many other retired police officers.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that the 13th Amendment to the Constitution will be implemented under his government.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa made this statement while speaking at a ceremony at the Bharati Vidyalaya in Kilinochchi, where a smart classroom was donated to the school under the circular program. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa also donated 100,000 rupees to the school's development fund for the purpose of purchasing costumes for the school's dancing troupe.
I would like to clearly state that at a time when other leaders are making contradictory statements of what they will do, I say that without a doubt, we will implement the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. We made a pledge regarding that on Labourers' Day. We have come to the Northern Province today, and we will tell the people in the North, South, East, West and all provinces in the country that we will implement the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which is a part of our supreme law. We will not hesitate to implement this. This is a part of our Constitution. We will take steps to implement this, which is a part of our Constitution. We will give the people of these areas political, social, economic, religious and cultural rights.
ඒ තුලින් මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ ජනතාවගේ දේශපාලන අයිතිය, සමාජීය අයිතිය, ආර්ථික අයිතිය, ආගමික අයිතිය, සංස්කෘතික අයිතිය අපි ලබා දෙනවා.
Political offices of the United National Party are being inaugurated these days. The Kasbava political office of the United National Party was inaugurated today by the electoral organizer of Kasbava, Saman Ratnapriya. General Secretary of the United National Party, Palitharange Bandara, was also present at the event.
The main election of this political campaign is the presidential election. The leader of the United National Party is ready to face the upcoming presidential election not as a candidate but a victorious candidate. There are two political campaigns ongoing. There is one political campaign being carried out by the party head office at Sirikota. The other campaign is being coordinated as an independent candidate from the campaign office at Flower Road. This election campaign has many sectors. I would like to remind you that just like the 5 rivers that start at the Samanalakanda, the end result of all these sectors combine in favour of Ranil Wickremesinghe. As a part, we are preparing for the presidential election. We have a responsibility to win the presidential election with a massive majority. We would like to give the message that we are ready to fulfill that responsibility. There is an opinion in the society that Ranil Wickremesinghe, who saved the country, should be allowed to move forward without an election. That was the opinion that our General Secretary presented. That is a right opinion. This is not a time where we should fight elections, but according to the Constitution, an election must be held. If some in our country don't have that good faith, if our political leaders don't have that good faith, and if they are not willing to decide based on what's best for the country and her people, we are ready to hold the election and also win the election. If we are to move forward, we have to restructure our debt. We entered into an agreement with the IMF for that. We had the need to make certain changes. In a few more days, bilateral creditors will agree on a debt restructuring plan. Once that agreement is signed, we can move forward faster. The youth of the country can expect good times in the future. He thinks afresh and he thinks about new technologies. And he is implementing programs to train the youth to face the future. He has looked at these matters from all angles. I would like to ask you if we should be deceived again. Sri Lanka Podujana Perumura MP and founder of DP Education Dhammika Perera spoke about avenues to practically resolve Sri Lanka's issues. Dhammika Perera expressed these views at the DP Education felicitation ceremony for students of the Hambantota district.
There's talk of an upcoming presidential election. Screaming from the stage won't solve problems. Have you considered solutions? Did anyone propose my flood solution back then? In 2016, I checked on a full control 8-kilometer plan up the estuary to diagnose the problem causing the colonnade to submerge. By the time I left, the river's embankment was broken at 6 points. But there are hundreds of similar issues. I've even witnessed moments where people on stage seem to lose their composure. It's impossible to absorb and retain everything effectively. I've also learned from some of their questions. I've been in Parliament for 2 years now and I haven't spoken a word yet. It's not that there's no time. In our company, if I bring something or someone to a board meeting, there is a documented plan beforehand. But in Parliament, have they ever presented a single document to address a problem? No. These young people likely won't follow this process either when they enter Parliament.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that a supplementary estimate will be presented for the first few months of 2025 instead of a budget proposal. The State Minister said that this is done so that the newly elected President could present a new budget.
This is an election year. We are planning on passing a supplementary estimate for the first 3 to 4 months of 2025. That will approve spending for the first 3 to 4 months of 2025. We are getting approval for the payment of salaries of state sector employees, for the Aswasuma program and several such limited programs. We are not going to present any new proposals. During that period, the new president and the government has the ability to pass a proper budget for that year. They have to include this in that budget proposal as an expense and get that budget proposal approved as well.
Newsfirst with the people.
In an attempt to resolve the ongoing strike, the Department of Railways said that a group of locomotive drivers will be promoted within the next week.
Railway Traffic Superintendent MJ Indipolage announced promotions to address a key demand of striking train drivers. Out of the 83 drivers in grade 3, promotions will address the concerns of 73 within the next week.
Currently, appointment letters have been issued to 7 of the 83 grade 3 drivers. 11 more will receive theirs on Monday. Applications received late may be processed by Monday or Tuesday. 10 drivers were found ineligible due to unmet qualifications. 3 additional appointments can be made immediately, bringing the total to 54. Appointment letters can be issued to 11 of the remaining 16 by Sunday morning. We will address the remaining 5 soon.
The locomotive drivers' strike enters its 3rd day today. The strike stems from several issues, including salary concerns, stalled promotions, and a lack of new hires. The Locomotive Operating Engineers Association, led by Secretary SRCM Sena Nayaka, said that the strike will continue until their problems are resolved. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transport has issued a notice instructing striking drivers to return to work immediately. The Department of Railways has warned that drivers who do not report for work by tomorrow will be considered to have resigned. The Railway Control Room said that approximately 70 train journeys were cancelled this morning. The total number of cancellations over the past 2 days is 155.
The general public once again staged a silent protest at the Thimbire-Gasyaya junction.
Once again on a Sunday evening, these protesters are back again to the streets of Timigassaya, where they are raising their concerns about the current state of Sri Lanka.
We have good news, and that is the world recognizes us, but we have robbers who should be behind the bars. Go after those who have stolen and get the money back. This is a must. Realize that Sri Lanka got elected to the United Nations Economic and Social Council because the United Nations realizes Sri Lanka has so much of resources and we have human capacity in order to achieve greater targets. But we have lost it all because of corruption, because of people stealing the money.
Our leaders are talking there's stability in this country. 60% of the people don't get their 3 meals a day. Apita khanda naha. I don't see where we will be in another 5 years time, in another 10 years time. No, unless there's a two generation gaps. I think youth will come. They want to change. They are the young people. They can see the world developing. Then they will have that need to do that. Unless people like that come up, sorry, nothing will happen to this country.
In the heart of Galle, where the turquoise ocean meets the lush greenery of Sri Lanka, stands a historic structure, a symbol of strength and endurance. What are the secrets it holds? Who were the heroes who raised these mighty walls? Echoes of the Black Fort. Premiering on Tuesday, the 11th of June at 8 p.m. on TV1, Dialogue TV channel number 10 and Pure TV channel number 12. Also premiering on Newsfirst digital platforms.
The Motor Racing Association hosted a successful commemorative drive on Sunday to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the iconic Mazda MX-5.
Car enthusiasts were in for a treat today as the Motor Racing Association hosted a special drive to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the legendary Mazda MX-5. This exciting event offered MX-5 owners and admirers a chance to cruise together and commemorate the iconic roadster. Car enthusiasts of all ages gathered for this event, united by their passion for this iconic vehicle. Newsfirst was the media partner of the event.
The 70th annual general meeting of the Sri Lanka Life Saving or SLLS was successfully held today.
Full members and associate members of Sri Lanka Life Saving attended the AGM of Sri Lanka Life Saving at its head office in Mount Lavinia. Athula Senaratne was appointed as the president of Sri Lanka Life Saving, while P.K. Edirisinghe was appointed as the secretary general at the AGM. 2 teams from Sri Lanka Life Saving will be participating in the Life Saving World Championships 2024 to be held at Gold Coast, Australia in August 2024. A special general meeting has also been called to be scheduled in 14 days on the 23rd of June. During the special general meeting, the Board of Trustees and the Executive Committees of Sri Lanka Life Saving will be appointed. In addition, Asanka Nanayakara, country representative of the International Life Saving Federation, was present at the AGM as a special observer from the International Life Saving Federation and was appointed as a Chief Administrative Officer and reappointed as a Chief Executive Officer of Sri Lanka Life Saving.
Have you ever dreamed of soaring through the skies like a bird? Sri Lanka is now offering a thrilling and safe way to experience the adrenaline rush of a tandem skydive. Now, this exhilarating activity is being facilitated by the Sri Lanka Air Force. Newsfirst recently captured the excitement firsthand as Pahan Chandramal became the first civilian to take the plunge in the tandem jump operated by the Air Force. This could be your chance to join the ranks of these skydiving pioneers and experience the breathtaking beauty of Sri Lanka from a whole new perspective. It may be challenging, but the memories will surely last a lifetime.
Nestled amidst a unique confluence of the ocean, lagoon, airstrip and railway lies the Koggala Air Force Base. This base has become the stage for another exciting chapter in the Sri Lanka Air Force's history, the country's first ever tandem jump.
අයිබෝවන් අද අපි ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ දකුණු ලක කොග්ගල පුරවරයට. ඇත්තටම අපි මේ වෙලාවේ ඉන්නේ කොග්ගල ගුවන් හමුදා කඳවුරේ. අපි ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ වෙනස් වැඩක් කරන්න. මේ වැඩේ වෙනස් කියලා කියන්න අපිට හේතු ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ලංකාවේ රූපවාහිනී නාලිකාවකින් අතිශය ප්‍රථම වතාවටයි මේ දේ ඔබට සජීවීකරණය කරන්නේ. ත්‍රාසය, බීතිය, කුතුහලය. ඒ හැම දෙයක්ම එකට කැටි කොටගත් අත්දැකීමක් අද සිට ලංකාවේ ඔබට තිලින කරන්නට ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදාව සූදානම් වෙනවා. මේ වැඩේ මොකක්ද කියලා ඒ විදිහටම ඔබට කියන්නයි අද අපි කොග්ගලට ආවේ. අපි මොකක්ද කියලා හරියටම බලමු.
The Y-12 aircraft stood ready for its 12,000-foot ascent, carrying a team of experienced personnel. Following international safety protocols, the team ensured the physical fitness of everyone involved. Pahan Chandramal was joined by Group Captain Jagat Godakanda, Wing Commander Vijitha Gomes and Spanish skydiving expert Marcus Lessa.
අපි දැන් හරියටම සූදානම් වෙන්නේ මේ ගුවන් යානයෙන් අඩි 10000ක ඉහළ අහසට ගිහිල්ලා එතනින් පල්ලෙහාට පනින්න. Newsfirst වෙනුවෙන් අපි මේ අත්දැකීම ඔබට තිලින කරන්නට ගුවන් හමුදාවත් එක්ක අපි සූදානම් අඩි 10000ක ඉහළ අහසේ ඉඳලා ආයිත් පල්ලෙහාට එන්න අපි යම් වැඩ බලන්න.
This groundbreaking initiative opens doors for Sri Lankans and international visitors alike to experience the unparalleled thrill of tandem skydiving.
දැන් අපි හරි 10000 සෙකන්ඩ් අපි දැන් මේ කැසර් කරන්නේ.
එහෙනම් අපි හැමෝම පල්ලෙහාට හම්බෙන්නේ. සේෆ් ජම්ප්. සේෆ් ජම්ප්. කතා බහට ලක් කරන ටැන්ඩන් ජම්ප් අත්දැකීම දැන් ලංකාවේදී විඳගන්න ඔබට අවස්ථාව තිබෙනවා. මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදාවේ කොග්ගල ගුවන් හමුදා කඳවුරයි.
US President Joe Biden met with French leader Emmanuel Macron and restated his strong support for Kiev in its fight against the Russian invasion. Details of this story and much more on tonight's edition of The World Today.
The United States and France have both reaffirmed support for Ukraine in its battle against Russia's invasion during a meeting in the French capital. President Joe Biden warned that Vladimir Putin would not stop at Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron, in turn, hailed his US counterpart's loyalty to Europe.
The EU has provided over $107 billion in assistance to Ukraine since the war began, because we know what happens if Putin succeeds in subjugating Ukraine. And we won't stop, Putin's not going to stop at Ukraine. It's not just Ukraine, it's about much more than Ukraine. All of Europe will be threatened. We're not going to let that happen. The United States is standing strong with Ukraine, we're standing with our allies, and we're standing with France. We will not, say it again, walk away.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has added Israel's military to a global list of offenders that have committed violations against children. Israel had been told it is being placed on the list in the Secretary General's annual report on children in armed conflict to be sent to the UN Security Council next Friday. According to reports, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad were also added to the list along with the Israel Defense Forces. A flow of molten rock has consumed a road in Iceland as it edges towards the coastal town of Grindavik. Grindavik is not subject to an evacuation order as a lava's slow progress means there is not believed to be an imminent risk. The lava is a result of a volcanic eruption last month. The volcano has since stabilized.
The West Indies thrashed Uganda by a massive 134 runs in their opening match of the 2024 T20 World Cup.
Opting to bat first after winning the toss, the West Indies openers Brandon King and Johnson Charles provided a solid foundation with a 41-run partnership. Charles top-scored with a well-made 44, while skipper Roman Powell contributed 23 runs. A late cameo from Andre Russell, who remained unbeaten on 30, propelled the West Indies to a commanding total of 173 for 5 wickets. Uganda's chase never got going as they were dismantled by a superb bowling performance from the West Indian bowlers. Akil Hussain emerged as the star with a sensational spell, claiming 5 wickets for a mere 11 runs. The Ugandan batting lineup crumbled under the pressure, mustering only 39 runs in 12 overs.
Sri Lankan bodybuilder Vishwa Tharuka secured a bronze medal at the prestigious 14th South Asian Bodybuilding and Physique Sports Championship held in the Maldives.
Vishwa Tharuka has won the bronze medal in the men's sports physique up to 175 centimeters category at the 14th South Asian Bodybuilding Physique Sports Championship held in the Maldives. Vishwa Tharuka was supported by Sri Lanka Bodybuilding and Physique Sports Federation. Tharuka's victory holds a deeper significance as he dedicates the medal to his late wife, who tragically passed away last year.
අපි දෙන්න ඇක්සිඩන්ට් වෙලා නැති වුණා. එයා ගිහින් නැත්තම් මම දවසක දිනන එක. එයා මට කිව්වා දිනනකම් මාත් එක්ක ඉන්නවා කියලා එකට. ඒත් අද යා නැහැ. මම දින්න තර්ඩ් ප්ලේස් එක ගත්තා. මම මේක මුතින් නතර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම ගෝල්ඩ් එක ආයෙ try කරනවා. මම ක්‍රීඩාවේ ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්. උඩරම ඉස්සරහට යනවා. මට හැමදාම මගේ මීට් වලට මගේ බොඩි බිල්ඩින් වලට හැමදේම කෑම හදලා දුන්නේ එයා. ඒක ලොකු කැපකිරීමක් කළා. අද එයා නැහැ. මට තමයි දැන් මේ දවස්වල අම්මයි නැන්දයි ආච්චි තමයි මට කෑම හදලා දුන්නේ. ලොකු කැපකිරීමක් කළා. ඒ වගේකින් මට තාම එයා නැති හින්දා මට තාම ගෙදර ඉන්න බෑ මට. තාම ඉන්නේ නැන්දලාදී. මට මෙයාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙයායින් තමයි මට ආත්ම විශ්වාසය වැඩි වුණේ. වැඩි වෙලා මම ඉස්සරහට ආවේ. ඇත්තටම මෙයාට thank you. අද මේ මම ළඟ හිටියා නම් ගොඩක් සතුටු වෙනවා. අද මේ මම ගාව නැහැ.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and God bless.